I'll invite you to make yourself as comfortable as possible, like I mentioned. So thanks for the introduction. Mike, thank you all for being here and sharing space with me today. Some of you may have had experience already with meditation or mindfulness, and some of you maybe are experiencing this for the first time. So try and make your space as cohesive to the practice as possible. So maybe put up a little sign on your door that says, do not disturb. Maybe turn off your phone to do not disturb mode. You could gaze out your window if you'd like, especially if you've been looking at a screen all day. It's a really nice option to be looking out your window, and it can be really nice and restful for your eyes to be looking like as far into the horizon as you can as well when you're looking out the window. And then once you find yourself in a shape in your physical body that feels comfortable, the first shape that you kind of land in, feel free to shift and adjust yourself here. So you could close through the eyes if you'd like. The intention as we start to filter like further and further into this practice is to start pulling our senses inwards. So if closing your eyes helps you to draw your attention and your vision inwards, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, maybe looking at a single point. If you're near a window, maybe it's outside. If you're not, somewhere in your space that you commit to kind of leaving your gaze on. And throughout the practice, as the physical body starts to settle, you might notice little discomforts shift up or creep up here and there that you didn't notice when you first started. So if your physical shape starts to become a little uncomfortable as the practice progresses, then I'll invite you to stay for a couple of breaths, breathing into that space that feels a little uncomfortable. Sometimes simply just with our attention, those spaces can kind of become settled. And if after a couple of breaths you still feel like this place is taking up a lot of your attention, then shift and adjust your posture slightly. Maybe find a different prop to support yourself, a pillow or a chair that's close by, or folded blanket. And then if after a couple of breaths that area is still a little bit uncomfortable and taking a lot of your attention, let that be a good indication that it might be time for you to change positions to a different shape. So now we've brought some of our visual attention or our vision inwards, whether the eyes are open on a single point or the eyes are closed. We're starting to see inwards into our experience. So now imagine as though you could turn the funnel of your ears inwards so that the sounds around you in the space that you're in, the humming of the lights or the heat, the people that you share space with, the sounds of the cars driving by, all of those sounds become a little further into the distance. Even the sound of my voice gets just a little further away. And more of your hearing moves inwards. So more and more of your listening turns inwards. First to the breath. Without changing the breath, can you listen for its soft whisper? If you're able to breathe in and out through the nose, doing so in an effortless, kind of welcoming way, as opposed to forcing the breath. Almost considering that to find more breath, we might need to do less rather than do more. We're still connected to the sounds around us, but they're existing way on this one end of a tunnel, almost outside of our most closely felt experience of this moment. Continuing to turn our senses inwards to this present moment, feeling the temperature in the room against the skin that's visible, feeling the weight of your glasses or your earbuds or your hair tie, your jewelry, feeling the weight and the texture of the clothes that you're wearing, feeling every inch of support from the chair that you're sitting on, your feet to the floor, feeling every part of your body that's making contact with something else. Now that we've taken a couple of minutes to draw our attention inwards, and the invitation is there for us to continue to seek physical comfort, I'll invite you to shift and adjust your body however you need to so that it feels as though the very top of your head points straight up to north. And you can plug in through the sitting bones, through the very base of your pubic bones, in like an outlet into a socket right below you. And if it feels as though one part of your back or a couple of places on your back are more noticeable than others, then perhaps shift and adjust how you're sitting. Pull back the head, roll back the shoulders, maybe hinge forward or hinge back, or bring a rolled blanket behind you. Anything that you can think of to try to do to equalize the sensation from the crown of the head to the tip of the tail. And in doing so, for most people, we're able to find this neutral spine. In yoga, it's called the Sutra Atman, the line of the self that connects us from above to below. It puts us right in the center of our experience. In your mind's eye, bringing your imagination and our gift of metaphor into this practice. So as you inhale, right from the base of your pelvis, visualizing fire rising up the back of the body. And as you exhale, water falling like a waterfall down the front. Fire, heat, warmth ascending in effort as you inhale up the spine. And as we passively exhale, water descending as grace. And for the next couple of minutes, I'll invite you to continue this visualization. With every inhalation, fire rises up the back. With every exhalation, water rains down the front. let the rhythm of your breath guide this practice here. And as you breathe and as you focus on this visual, know that your attention will waver. Maybe you'll drift into sleep or daydream. Maybe your attention will start to get pulled to what happened in your morning or what's happening this afternoon. So when you catch yourself out of this experience, bring back the physical sense in your body, the smells, the sounds. If you have your eyes closed, the color of the light behind your eyes. If you have your eyes open, what your single pointed focus falls on. And then bring back this visual of heat or effort ascending the back line of the body, ease and grace raining down the front. And to assist you in this practice, I'm going to practice with you and allow for some silence so that this really becomes a self-guided practice. So I'll invite you to continue with this practice of getting distracted and coming back, of getting less mindful and coming back until you hear my voice again. Notice the feeling of that which supports you, whatever you're sitting on or lying on. And in your imagination, travel the entire distance of support. So from where it starts at the top to all the way down where you last feel support out to the sides. Every part of your body that's making contact with this support. And then slowly start to turn up the volume of the space around you so that you can hear a little more clearly my voice, the sounds that are happening around you. Smelling the space that you're in, feeling the air that you occupy. And lastly, allowing for your eyes to blink open or to start to move around, to take in the space that you find yourself in, and maybe starting as well to move your body however it's craving. Find all of the edges of the body as well. Now I invite you, as you start to make your way out of this practice and towards the yoga that you'll practice off of the mat, I'll invite you to keep this visual in your back pocket for the week ahead. And anytime that you need a little effort or that you need a little grace, picture this fire rising as effort or grace descending as rain. And know that you're just one breath away from finding that balance. So thank you all for taking a moment of your day to join me in this practice. I'll stay on the line for a couple of minutes in case there's any questions or you need anything from me. And otherwise, I hope to see you all again next week.